I started in the police department, I think it was January 1963. But I was only on the police department then 2 or 3 years when the police chief called me in. He said, would you be interested in working for the Packers a little bit? I got a call from Coach Lombardi. People are walking on the practice field. Went out there in morning for practice, and Coach Lombardi would drive his car and park it on the street. And so that started another family with me. And then I moved up through Lombardi. And then Bob Harlan said, Jerry, would you be interested leaving the police department and taking over security for the Packers? The first 7 years I was with Mike Holmgren. I was in 2 Super Bowls. We won a Super Bowl. But I've been really blessed to have that opportunity. February 6th, 2003, after dinner, I had to pass some gas. So I went to the bathroom and I lost a discharge of red blood, black blood, and tissue a little bit. I thought, oh my God, something's wrong. So I go in the first thing in the morning, but what a rough night. They do the colonoscopy, and the doctor looked at me and he said, Jerry, you have cancer. There's a growth in your rectal colon area. And I'm thinking, how can that be? How can that be? Everything flashed in front of me. I don't want to die. I guess I just associated that cancer with death. Sandy and I meet with this Dr. Blank. He says, I'm going to start radiation on you. We're going to have 6 weeks. I'm going to also have you receive chemo. So he says, we're going to beat up your body a little bit, so you have to be strong. I went 38 treatments in a row. All of a sudden, being modest doesn't mean nothing. These pretty young gals come in there and they're really nice to me and said, Jerry, you got to get up on this and you got to kind of put your hinder up in the air. It takes a lot of audio. I felt like I lost everything. I can't do it no more. And the phone rings. And on the other end of the phone, her name was Connie. And Connie Warzella was a nurse. Connie came and visited Sandy and I while I was getting my chemo treatment. She became a very, very special person in my journey all the way through. Every time I went in for a treatment, no matter what it is, either Sandy or one of my daughters was with me. I was never alone. My wife, Sandy, she's the greatest mother, the greatest grandmother. We've been married 55 years now. And she was with me so much dealing with my cancer when I was struck down. After surgery, I remember coming out of it. It was invasive because obviously I was cut down the belly all the way up and around my belly button. So many people were sending me flowers, I thought, well, Jerry, there must be some people that like you. So that started my life. After chemo, radiation, I have the surgery. I hoped in recovery. And Bob Harlan, the president of the Packers, had told me, he said, Jerry, I don't want you to retire. He says, the Packers are going to take care of you. Before Brett was Brett Favre, the famous number 4, he used to come to the house here. Sandy would fix him dinner. That Christmas of 2004, there was a box all wrapped up in my locker, and I had a Rolex watch in it. I always called Brett the Warrior because he never missed any games. It was engraved, it says, Jerry, the real warrior, Brett, number 4. So I'm really proud of this watch. I'm not bragging about that, it's a meaningful story for me. I was a motorcycle policeman with Green Bay way back in the 60s. When I was going through this rough period of dealing with cancer, a good friend of mine, his name was Pat Doherty. Pat and Vandervest family of motorcycles people all wanted to get involved, and they selected, let's make a ride for Jerry Parins. So that's why the Jerry Parins Cruise for Cancer started. Lambeau Field itself is where we started the ride. We took a ride up to Pesh to go what we called a pit stop, come back to Lambeau Field, and then we had a tailgate party where everybody relaxed. The first year we were able to make $27,000. And I think we had maybe 100, 150 motorcycles. Last year was the 12th year in a ride. We had made $1 million. I am so proud of that. When we were selecting a cancer family to join us on the ride, the whole plan was to take them out of their environment of dealing with cancer at home, even though they're not on a motorcycle. They're part of the rumbling before, the rumbling in the back of you, And at the end, we gave them a Packers jersey with their name across the back and number 1. That's one thing about our run. It's all about helping cancer families. And I guess that's what it is. And it's not a cancer, it's all cancers. Sometimes I really believe that I wouldn't want to do it over again and go through all what I did and how it, but I've met so many outstanding people, so many wonderful people. I'm Jerry Parins, Green Bay, Wisconsin.